Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I really need to tell you this story. Over on Facebook, if you're on Instagram or YouTube, sometimes LinkedIn, um, I sometimes share some things on Facebook on the Dr. Bertice Berry page. In the evening, I'll share a query that allows people to kind of look inside themselves and share their answers. And the answers are just magnificent. One day I shared a picture of a basket that I made, and I said, what would you like to make or do or go back to in terms of creativity? And the answers were phenomenal. And then I've been hearing from people who are actually now taking those art classes or participating in creative arts. They're making things. Somebody said, I made a skirt and I wore it for the first time and it's amazing. And it's just magnificent. Anyway, I shared a question recently about belonging. I showed a picture of myself and two other women sitting in church, and we look different, but we belong to each other and to that space. And so I said belonging and fitting in are not the same. In fact, they're opposites. Share a story about a place or a community where you feel like you belong. And the answers were really, really heartwarming, and just, I felt like I belonged in those spaces and with those communities just from the sharing of the stories. Some stories were really about fitting in. If your group is exclusive, i.e., you have to have had a certain experience or a certain race or a certain, that's really more fitting in, that this is where you fit in. But a sense of belonging is a feeling that is very difficult to just define. But, I've done a lot of work in the area outside of here to help me see more clearly that it is where I get to be me and you get to be you, and together we become so much more. And that is the quickest way of defining the sense of connectedness that creates a larger sense of self. It is Ubuntu. And sometimes the exclusive groups where we have to have a shared experience or common initiation or some kind of something, same race, same gender, whatever, that can help you have a sense of belonging that makes you want to make sure other people belong. Some people talked about belonging to their group that enables them to go out and do more for others. And that's really what this is. Belonging gives you courage. Belonging gives you a place in the world. Belonging allows you to not feel like you have to do something when you enter into this space or into this community. People who say that they don't belong feel like they have to put on an armor or they have to change themselves. They have to do something to be more like that group whenever they enter into that group or that space or that community. But there was another type of answers that really touched my heart, and it was a group of people, not all at once, just throughout the page, who said honestly and openly and with great vulnerability, I don't feel like I belong anywhere. I don't feel like I belong to anyone. I don't belong. And one person said, I don't belong, and that's just fine with me. The self is social. The human becomes more human through contact with other humans. I am because we are. And we are meant for connection. We are meant to be connected. That's why the pandemic was so difficult for so many people, but not for so many others, because we had these deep connections that tied us to one another, whether or not we saw or were in the presence of or not. And even in places, there are workplaces, spaces where people are remote and are feeling a deeper sense of connection in remote work than they did in personal space, in the same space. And that's because they get to know each other a little bit more deeply. This is one of the reasons why I continue with story. Story is a very quick road to connection. It is a very quick pathway to connecting at a conscious level, at an unconscious level, at a subconscious level. The subconsciousness of us that is already connected, that knows that we are connected, that knows that we are belonging, that we have to peel off our layers of existence, our layers of degree, our layers of socioeconomic status, our layers of race, our layers of age, of weight, of all of even my experiences. Oh, we went through this the same way, and so now we're bonded. Shedding off those layers allows me to connect with Joanne Jones, who lives in New Orleans, who I wouldn't have known except for these stories in that story group, to Kathy Cox in Missouri, to Tammy down in Jessup, to people who, to my sister Catherine across the way, who I wouldn't know without these stories. Think about a time you met somebody on a plane and you shared a quick story, and that story stays with you. You have never seen that person again. You may never see them again, but you are bonded and connected and belong through that story. This is the big secret about belonging. Belonging doesn't happen when others open themselves to you. It happens when you open yourself to them. And so one of the things that I find amazing is that people want someone else's cachet. They want their stories, they want their life, they want their intimacy, but they're not willing to share their self. Because in the past you've been hurt. The last time you opened up somebody, they used it improperly. Have faith. Allow your heart to connect, and it will be rewarded with belonging. I love you. I truly do.